What's the most difficult thing about spending a week with Jose Aldo?
There is nothing difficult about this. This is my life. It's not my job. It's not my work. It's my life. I'm doing this since I came to the UFC. It's another day for me. I have no problem with him being around. I would pat him on the head, sit him on my lap. He could be here right now. It makes no difference. Thank you.
You know, the last time you were on the tour, though, you said you got a little bit fatigued by all the media, and it seemed like it had kind of worn you out. So how are you able to wrap your head around this one, this time? It's so close to when we just saw you.
Private jets, suites, sunshine, coconuts. It makes it a little bit easier. Food, obviously, you know, we are not cutting weight just yet. So I think it's perfect. I think it's good that we can do it I think it's the right time to do it. You get more out of it. You know what I mean? The athletes are more energized. You know, sometimes they must realize that too much can take out of them. But again, you got to do it. Work is work. And I honestly, maybe I feel this time then compared to Boston, I'm almost used to it. Something. It feels normal now. It feels I just carry on, and I actually enjoy it. I almost have like a little formula to execute it, to continue training, to continue eating clean, to handle business.
Speaking of formulas, you say that Jose kind of fights with certain patterns, that he's conditioned to fight a certain way because he's been champion so long. Can you talk about that a little bit and why you feel that you have the advantage in the sort of unknown element?
Yeah, he throws the same shots over and over again. I feel he throws the basic shots well, and then if he has some success with the basic shots, he does not have that IQ to finish the fight. He can't find that shot. To be a good finisher, to be a truly solid finisher, you must have good shot selection, and I don't feel he has that. He has his basics down well, but then that is all he has. Then his reactions and his movements in defense are identical time and time again. When people press, he reacts the same way. Time and time again. Look at me. I never react the same way. I never come out throwing the same shots, and I am a lot harder to read. So that I feel I have the advantage with that.
How do you think Chad Mendes did against him in the rematch, though? Because it seemed that he kind of got to Jose more than other people have in the past.
Yeah, I think Chad landed the heavier shots. Certainly done more damage. But for me, they are equal. They are similar. They have that similar style. I feel they are pretty equal, but both are below me.
And I think conventional wisdom thinks that you would probably rather keep this fight on the feet. Do you see it that way? Are you thinking of taking him down?
If it presents itself, I would take him down. Definitely, I have confidence that I could put him away on the mat, no problem. He has been dominated on the mat before. Who knows? If it presents itself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But do you put yourself in any danger? You know, you talk about always wanting to finish people in a certain way at a certain time. A lot of time you call the round, you want to do that. Are you setting yourself up, though, if it doesn't happen at that point, for, you know, a letdown of any kind?
No, because victory is victory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I saw the 2-minute mark with Dennis. It was wrapped up by 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. The fight was done within 2 minutes. It was a formality after that. So, and it was 2 minutes of the second round. 1 minute 57 seconds of the second round. So it was on to something. But I think this one will be decided within the 4-minute mark of the first round. I think the shots that will hit, it will be over by then, and it will be a formality after that. How long? We will see. But he will be beat within the first 4 minutes.
Did you find you had any Brazilian fans when you started this down in Rio?
Yeah, they did. I did have some Brazilian fans. I thought, you know, they are passionate people. They want their hometown boy to win. but I definitely felt the love in Rio. They might not admit it yet, but when I go back with the belt, they will love me.
Which is the best quality that you see as a fighter in Jose Aldo?
I don't really see a quality. You know, he came in, he was given the belt. He hasn't looked spectacular in any of his contests, I don't feel. So I don't really focus on qualities. That's not the frame of mind to be in. I focus on my qualities, and my qualities destroy him.
I think you said yesterday that you're doing your camp in Vegas for this fight. Why is that better for you, do you think?
Vegas has become like a second home to me now. So I've been out there a lot. Why not head out there? The fight's so far away. I will head home. I will have 7 to 8 weeks in Dublin. So I'll have basically a camp in Dublin and a camp in Vegas. It's perfect. So I'll be in phenomenal shape heading to Vegas. We'll have a fresh load of new bodies I'll have bodies in Dublin, bodies in Vegas. You get great variety. Then I'll become accustomed to the time, accustomed to the air, and then he's in that jungle heat. He's flying in on Tuesday before the fight. He comes in into that dry heat, into my home. Seems the right thing to do.
You're bringing like John Kavanaugh and your coaches and everything to
Yeah,
Vegas
I'll bring
for
some
that?
coaches and I'll bring some teammates, and then of course there's a lot of people in Las Vegas, so we will hook up with some people and grow.
Sorry.
Oh.
I was speaking about the difference in Scotland versus Vegas. Is there any difference with like the climate or the airs, as you mentioned, difference in your cardio or training? Does it enhance it by any means?
Ireland, Vegas, but does it enhance? I don't know. I don't really believe in that high altitude type stuff and all that, but just to head over. Vegas is nice. I like the sun.
Yeah.
I like a big nice house and have everything in one area as well. And the fact that I have my 8 weeks in Dublin and then I have 8 weeks in Vegas or however, it's not fully decided yet either. It's been a thought. I've also been thinking of splitting it, maybe 4 weeks in LA, living that beach life, and then 4 weeks in the final 4 weeks in Vegas. But we'll figure it out. But I'm just floating around traveling. I get to spend time with my training, with my team, and then I get to travel the world. I'm living a good life.
Where's your 10? You should have a 10 by now.
I have a little tan. Look at you, you're the whitest motherfucker here. Oh my god. I couldn't even see you there for a minute. It's talking about my tan. I definitely have a little tan, right, Karen?
Gotta have a little.
I know.
It's a little
Fucking
something.
hell.
You look good.
Last weekend on Fox Sports, Dana White said he heard from Jose Aldo's camp, and he says they made it clear to him that you better make sure you do not touch Aldo during this world tour, or things could get ugly. What do you make of his camp putting that out? Is that an attempt to play mind games?
No, I feel what that is reality setting in. It's not a game. It's not a joke. It's for real. And that's it. Now I think they realize that. This motherfucker is not joking. So they just want to make sure he want to make sure his son is safe. But I will look after him, don't worry.
Have you been watching the embedded episodes this week?
Yeah, I have. I've been producing them.
What do you think of Jose's scenes? Like, what they've been showing of him. What do you think his attitude is like?
Yeah, it's good. He's been playing games. I have not.
Conor, people could argue too, though, that in terms of mind games, in terms of trying to intimidate somebody, Jose's had a much more difficult life than you have, and that he's probably harder than other people to break. How do you see it?
I see he broke easier than the rest. Not only did he break, he broke in Rio. He broke at home. They all break eventually, but he broke good and early.
How so? What'd you see?
I just felt they probably thought it was a joke, and they probably thought it was maybe an act or something. Mm-hmm. It's a sell. I always hear them talking about selling. We must hype the fight. I'm not hyping nothing. I'm telling him what I'm going to do to him. I'm looking him dead in the eye. There's no cameras around. And I'm still saying I'm still ready to go. And I just feel he is not prepared for this. When you fight me, it's a different ball game as well. You know, maybe with all of this attention, with everything on, with the world tour, away from home, away from kids, something people cannot prepare for. They think they want this life, but they don't want it like I want it.
So how come you're better prepared for it then? What is it about you, Conor, that separates you from other fighters? I mean, obviously you've been able to put yourself on the map a lot more quickly than other people have, and you've been able to draw a lot more attention than other people have. What is it about you, your DNA? How are you put together differently than these other people?
I don't know. I got into it to find comfort in uncomfortable situations. That is why I began training. That's why I began martial arts, to become comfortable in uncomfortable situations, to give me confidence in any situation. I didn't get in it to be a champion. I didn't get in it to win a national title or anything like that. I didn't care about nothing like that. I got in it to find comfort in uncomfortable situations, that I could be confident that I could defend myself in any situation at any moment. That was day one. Go right through with that approach. Now all of this, I feel good here. I actually feel better here than I would in a normal life. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then since I've come into the UFC, there's been all this hype. I came in as a 2-weight world champion. I came in with hype, and then it just continued to grow and grow and grow. And now we're here. It's something I've just become accustomed to. He has not had that. The press conference in Rio that we done generated more revenue than his title fight against Mendes in Brazil. You know what I mean? So that's what happens when you fight me. You're fighting the big dog now.
Well, was there one specific catalyst that had happened to you in your youth that made you feel like I need to get comfortable in these situations? Were you often in an uncomfortable situation and you didn't feel good about where you were?
Just fights.
Yeah.
You get into fights when you're a kid, but they stuck in my head more. I just wanted to be confident in these situations. I knew if I could handle any situation, or if I could defend myself, not necessarily I was going out looking for it, but it would just give me confidence to be myself then. And I could do whatever I could just have confidence and do and say and be whatever I want to be, you know what I mean? And be who I am. And that was why. There was no particular moment, just in general, young boys, we get into fights, something that's part of growing up.
Was there a turning point fight though in your career that made you think, you know what, okay, now I didn't initially get into this because I wanted to win a title, but now I'm starting to see this is really within my reach? Was there a moment where you realized that and then kicked it into the next gear?
Yeah, definitely. After my first defeat, I had no respect for jiu-jitsu. I had no respect for the grappling arts. I was a boxer. And I got caught in a leg lock, and whatever, I brushed it off. I drifted in and out. Wasn't really interested. Then my second loss, what happened was I got caught I got caught in a panic almost, beginning my jiu-jitsu journey. And then when that fight ended, I was like, I will never let that happen again. It's either, I got caught not taking it serious enough. Mm-hmm. I got caught not taking the mental approach serious enough. And both of those fights, not one shot landed. I've had, I don't know how many MMA fights I have had, but I have not been hit clean once. Mm-hmm. So for me, in these little early stoppages, I'm just getting caught, and I'm like, what the fuck, and I just put it off to the side and say, you know what, I'm either going to put everything into it, or I'm not going to do it at all, because I was half doing it at that stage. And then I said, I'm going to put everything into this. That won't happen to me again. I won't get caught slipping, you know what I mean? Not fully committed to it. You're either in it until death, or you're not in it at all. And that fight, I decided I'm in this until the end. And then I brushed everything off. I eliminated everything out of my life. I focused on everything, every aspect of my game, the mental game. Everything evolved then. Now I am a brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu under John Cabinet. My striking has come on leaps and bounds. My mental game has gone through the roof. I am untouchable right now.
Is it fair to say, in talking about, or hearing you talk about the growth that you've gone through, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, getting comfortable with them, it was the being in front of the camera and being as outspoken and confident in public that you dare say trash talking? You know,
Sorry, one more time?
Well, what I'm getting at is I'm wondering this public persona being so comfortable in front of the public and being so outspoken about yourself and taking the verbal fight to your opponents. Was that one part of the journey as well, or that just came naturally?
It just came with commitment. Before I was not committed. I was half in, half out. I was not fully committed to it. I realized what it takes, and what it takes is isolation. You must be isolated. It must be nothing else. There can be nothing else. So that approach came with my confidence in my preparation, my approach, my new approach, my 24/7 approach. So, but it is not a public persona. It's who I am. I will say how I feel.
Has there been any collateral damage? You know, sometimes people get into this and family members can't handle their rise, you know, their success. You know, you've been with Dee for quite a while now, your girl. Just how has that changed? How has that affected the rest of the relationships in your life? Because certainly you're not in the gym all the time. I'm curious how people in your life are handling what you're doing and how big you've gotten.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning process for everybody to get used to the situation. I mean, with the documentary that aired on Ireland, my family featured a lot, so I suppose they must get used to a certain amount of delight as well, but it comes with the territory. If I can handle it, they can handle it too.
I've seen people stop your parents for autographs now. I mean, it's kind of fun at the same time as it's, you know, they're no longer anonymous.
They love it.
Yeah.
they love it, make no mistake about it. But it's good. It's
You
good
guys,
to have the support of my people.
Sorry, you guys said a couple times that you were interested in fighting Anthony Pettis at 155, you know, going up. Obviously, he lost a couple weeks ago to Dos Anjos. I'm sure you watched. Were you surprised by that fight, and what do you think happened with him?
I was not surprised at the fight. I actually pipped two new champions on the night. I felt, looking at the build-up, I thought there was a new female champion upon us, and then I also felt Pettis wasn't there. I felt his preparation. I felt maybe in his mind his preparation was not there, and I could see it in him. And Dos Anjos came prepared, but we will take Aldo and we will take Dos Anjos, no problem.
So that's not on the table, going up to lightweight?
100% it's on the table. I said yesterday, the featherweights must beg now. They must beg for pardon, beg for forgiveness. If that's the case, if they apologize and beg, I'll leave the division. I won't terrorize them anymore. They can have their division back. They can go back to being on the prelims, and I'll go to the lightweight division.
But your buddy Khabib?
My buddy Khabib,
Yeah.
there's no friends in this game. Business has no friends.
Conor, do you have a timeline in terms of when you'd like to go up to lightweight? Like, is there a specific amount of months or years or?
To be honest, I would go up. I've campaigned for many lightweight fights since I've been in the UFC. If it presents itself, I'll take it. I've fought at multiple weight divisions before. I have no problem going right up to welterweight. I've said that before. If they present themselves, I'll take them. So There is no timeline. If it's there, I'm taking it.
And apart
Obviously things change. Obviously with the belt on the line, it's a little bit different because it's the belt now. They don't just allow you to move freely. So we'll see. But I almost had that Diego Sanchez fight in Mexico. I had Lorenzo on board. Lorenzo was up cool with it, but Dana didn't want it. So we will see. If fights present themselves, I take them. I'm here to fight.
Why did Dana say no to that?
Because look at this fight now we have. You know what I mean? So I can understand, but I look to compete. I look to get people who speak my name in vain. If they speak bad about me, I'm going to come and get them.
And then, obviously, title fights are intriguing, but is there a lightweight fight that is most intriguing to you based on the opponent?
No, the opponent is non-existent. It's the gold and the cash. That's all I'm after.
Conor, one of the techniques that people have trouble with against Aldo is the leg kicks. Have you seen anything about the leg kicks that you think you can deal with them, and why do you think other fighters have such trouble with these leg kicks?
I'd say maybe max 2 people have had trouble with his leg kicks. Not many more than that have had trouble. Both orthodox, both wrestlers, both novice to intermediate on the feet. So I'm not worried about that. I'm a southpaw. I have the size difference. I will control the range. I will control the octagon. And I have won fights by checking kicks before. Way back. I checked the right kick, I turned my inside right knee, snapped the leg similar to Silva Weidman, and won the contest. So I am not worried about that.
You know, I kind of want you and Jose to walk around in bubble wrap for the next couple months. You know what I mean? I'm afraid of you guys getting hurt. Do you have to change anything in your training? Because you are moving around a lot. You know, there'll be some unfamiliar faces in there and people who don't know the way you move. I know how unconventional you are. So there is a little bit of a danger of you, getting hurt by some of these people.
Yeah, well, pros will be pros and rookies will be rookies. You know, pros select. Pros bring in people that they are cool with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We are in the gym. It's not a competition in the gym. You look to learn, you look to grow. So you bring people in who are of the same mindset. And that is it. I will handle it professionally like I always do. I have never pulled out of a contest. He has pulled out of many, so I just hope he stays healthy.
Here in LA, is there a school, a team you think you would spend some time with? There's a lot to offer here.
Yeah, there's some great training partners. I've met some cool people. I was training with a guy who was a brown belt for one of the Gracies. I met him on Venice Beach, and I ended up going to his house in Inglewood. It was a little ghetto shack, and he had like a mat in a small square box room, and we just had grappling. It was fun, but there's good people out here.
Yeah.
But I'm in a position where I can bring people to me. That's the position I am in now. I am in the world champion position. People come to me. People come to my setup and enter my team. So we will definitely meet up with. I mean, the more bodies, the better. It's always good. I love training with different body types and new body types. It's always beneficial, and I always look to seek new training partners and just meet new people. That's what the game is about.
Does that
Travel the world, meet new people, discover new movements, and eat good food. That's life.
Is that Conor Gracie that you're talking about that you're training?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I actually didn't go out to train with him though. I would like to train with him.
Cool.
Hickson's son. Hickson's a
Hickson's a tough
hero
guy.
of the game.
So on jiu-jitsu, you're going to the Europeans in Rome. They're going to be Europeans.
Yeah.
How does that fit into the rest of your preparation?
Yeah, see, now I don't know whether I want to go to that, but now we have this tour, and then I've got some other obligations, so I'm gonna have to just wing that and see if that presents itself. But this is world championship we're talking. Business takes head. If you've got to handle business, the media obligations, unfortunately. But we'll see. Hopefully.
You mentioned the injuries people get coming into the fights, and that's a big problem in MMA. Like, too many guys get hurt. Maybe they're not doing their camps as professionally as they should be.
Some of them definitely, but I mean, there is things that you can do that is unavoidable. But yeah, you must be safe. You must be smart. Well, not so much safe. You must be smart. Train smart. Have good people around you. Definitely, a lot of people need to learn how to handle it a little bit better. But not everybody. Injuries happen. I would never hold something against someone that got injured or anything. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's part of the game.
So how many Irish will be in Vegas that night? I know they represented very well when you were fighting Dustin there. It's also a hotbed for Brazilians. They're not afraid to show up in Vegas, so who's going to have the bigger crowd?
The Brazilians won't even be heard.
No?
And I tell you that right now. I am not sure how many, but I would be very, very surprised if it's not 3/4 full of Irish. Then you've got the Canadians coming for Rory as well. It's going to be crazy, but I think the Irish. I don't think Vegas will know what hit it when the Irish step off that plane. I believe every single one of them that steps off that plane will be ready to fight. So it could get messy.
I was going to say,
I believe it will.
you might want to teach them to pace themselves because we've seen a lot of Irish passed out. You know what I mean? Just right after the first prelim. So
they're not passed out. They're just resting. They're just re-energizing.
okay.
Conor, earlier you mentioned how like the featherweight division, until you came along, it was, they were on the prelims most of the time. Since you came along, the division has gotten more attention than ever before. I mean, this fight's going to be the main event. And are you sensing jealousy from the rest of the division? Because at the same time, they don't really seem to be willing or ready to do the type of thing like this world tour, to do those type of things to get the attention you get. Do you think it's a case of like haters gonna hate, ain'ters gonna ain't?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, I look around at them talking about what way I approach the game, or what way I dress, or what way I talk, and then all of a sudden you see these exact same people dressing the way I dress, talking the way I talk, trying to do what I do. But you cannot do that. You must be yourself. So it amuses me to see that, but this is success. The mid tier and the low tier will always begrudge, but
So you weren't impressed with Ricardo Lamas' video?
I was amused by it. It was ridiculous. I mean, the amount of work that must have went into it as executive producer of my own show that breaks records, that we worked a deal with Fox, that we are selling all over the globe. We're talking big money out of that series. Never before seen footage. Not you have seen it, not one of you have seen the footage that's in this. Backstage, stuff that nobody in the game, you have been following this game your whole life, have seen. We are selling it worldwide, and it's major demand, and it's major money. That's the difference. When I make videos, when I put effort into something, it brings back 7 figures. When other people put all that effort in that, it hits Facebook and gets 20 likes.
So with this video series, I know like you just said, Fox was going to be picking it up. When you started that show, did you already have the backing, or was it a sense of people picking up on the momentum, understanding, hey, wow, this is a show that we want to get, and then coming to you and saying we want to distribute it?
Oh, I knew what the plan was.
Yeah.
I knew what the plan was. You know what I mean? We made the first one. The first one was a success. We sold it on DVD as well. It was also a big success. We had it out for Christmas. It also aired on Fox. It also broke records on Fox, along with all. I have about 3 records on Fox: the UFC Rising show, the Fight Night, and the documentary. Now I knew we would be talking with Fox. I knew we would be talking with the big networks worldwide with this series. I knew what I was getting into. That's why I made sure I was executive producer. I had full creative control. Nothing went out without my say. I was the final say, and that was it. And it was not just a case of me seeing things and then, yes, I had the vision of what I felt it needed to be. So I put a lot of work into that, and I am proud of it. And I will collect from it.
Well, you are in Hollywood here, so you can take a couple of extra meetings. I mean, is there a point where we'll see Conor McGregor as so-and-so? Do you want to get into the acting bit at all, or you think you'll always just be yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's not really for me. I am in the fight business, not the show business. And sometimes when you're on your journey in this game, people try and put words in your mouth, try and get you to say things, and I have gone along with it sometimes. And every time I've done it, like, I never liked it. I felt like I don't like that. I don't like, if it feels like an act, I don't want to do it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not the biggest fan of acting. But the other day we were on the Vegas Strip and we shut down the strip, and I had my own double. And the double was the guy that done all the work. Yeah. So I was sitting there chilling on set, and the double was making the walk and doing the thing. So I'm looking at him, and then they're correcting the angle. And then when it's time for me to go, I just had to bounce up, make one walk, and then I'm back in the trailer. If I could get work like that, I'd probably do it.
Nice. Also have to ask you, since you're here, Rodeo Drive, not too far away. I know you're always out to keep yourself sharp. Have you made a stop over there? Do you have any time? I mean, what have you been getting lately? Because you always treat yourself well.
Yesterday, or 2 days ago, yesterday, in Vegas, I had my tailor, David August, come out and he fitted me out with the spring summer line. So I got I got a hell of a lot of suits, a hell of a lot of shoes, a hell of a lot of clothes, all the trimmings. So I got kitted out in Vegas. So it's good to have them come to me. You know what I mean? I'm just sitting in the suite, and then I'm sitting in my house robe, my bathrobe, picking out suits and picking out things. But yeah, I would like to go to Rodeo Drive. I've never been, but we fly out now to Boston at 7:00 tonight. So it's work. It's work time.
The UFC has a big show coming Memorial Day weekend, Jones Rumble, YMP tour. They don't get a world tour. They don't get all the cities, all the countries. You and Aldo do. Why do you think that is?
You're looking at the reason. You're looking at them. That's it. You could have this as a one fight card. It could be a one fight card, and it would still do the same numbers. You don't need no one else on the card. So the time is now. Record breaking. It was welcome to the show. Record breaking. Now it's the McGregor era. Record breaking.
You mentioned getting into martial arts to feel comfortable in uncomfortable situations. Was there anything in your childhood where you felt that you needed to learn how to defend yourself?
Just growing up as a young kid in Dublin, you get into fights like most boys do. Some people, you're just playing football, and then all of a sudden you're in a fight, or you're walking down the street and then someone says something, and then there's a gang of people and there's a big fight. Not particularly any moment, it's just life where I grew up. So it's just stuck in my head more. I couldn't let it slip. I always would analyze it so much so that I forgot about everything else and then went on.
Conor, can you kind of talk about the tension between you and Aldo? Do you feel like it's the most intense, heated featherweight matchup that there's ever been?
Yeah, it's the biggest fight in the McGregor division, without doubt. But I don't sense tension, I sense fear. I sense fear when I look at him. And that is it. I don't feel tense, I feel calm, composed, ruthless.
And do you feel like you're more in his head than any other opponent he's ever faced? Do you really think all he can think about is your approach and how much attention you're grabbing and things like that?
I mean, who else has he faced like me? Who else is there like me in the game? Ever in the history of the game? Who has ever done what I've done? Who has been like me? Nobody has ever faced anybody like me. So of course he has never faced anybody like me.
And do you think you talked about goals earlier. Do you think greatest of all time is a realistic goal for you?
100%. This fight will solidify it.
One more question, Dan.
Yesterday in Las Vegas, you kind of almost implied that you thought that Jose was taking PEDs at some point during his career. You said thankfully this fight's in Nevada and not in Brazil. Do you think he has used in the past?
I see. It seems to me like maybe it's Brazilian culture. The women are on it, the men are on it. It just seems. I don't know what to think, but so I don't have to think, you know what I mean? It's in Vegas. We are in a new age. The sport is being clean. The athletes who deserve, the athletes who are dedicated to martial arts and dedicated to health and fitness and purity, they are the athletes who are being rewarded now. So I am happy to be a part of the new age.
How do you feel about the UFC's new program they're going to be installing in July? How do you feel about that?
The UFC's what?
The new testing program that the UFC is going to be doing.
It's brilliant. It's great for the sport. I mean, when all the stuff came out when Anderson was on the juice and then a few people got caught, it was not a good time for it wasn't a great thing for the sport, I feel. But then when they were calling the press conference, I spoke with Lorenzo. I was like, this should be a celebration. This press conference should be a celebration. We are changing the game now. We're turning the tide. Now we are dedicated to the fight against this, you know what I mean? Purity, pure martial arts, pure combat. It's a new age, and it should be celebrated. So I am happy to be part of that new age.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Hey.
Post for quick.